Mic check, 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What's good? Greetings, salutations. Good day, good day, good day. How's the reception, the audio, the feedback on your side? It's telling me that there's only one person here in this live stream, so I'm gonna guess that the connection is being a little funky. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. Mic check, 1 2 1 2. What's good, y'all? Can you hear me all right? How's the day treating you? I'm curious what the audio is like. We're out here at the airport right now. Got a couple hours. How's today? Where are you tuning in from? What you grateful for? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome from Toronto. Is the audio working on your side? Connection all right for you? Cool. All right, sweet. In Belgium? Nice. Welcome from Belgium. Hope the day's been treating you well there. It's Wednesday now. Cool.
Welcome to the Daniel K. Noy International Airport. If you're headed out, travel safely and come back soon. Kama'aina, welcome home. And if you've just arrived, we hope that you enjoy your stay in our islands. Aloha.
So as you can tell, we are at the airport currently. Figured we got some downtime. We got a couple hours. So may as well do some Tarot Tuesday. Yes, island vibes, indeed. What's good, Faye? Good to see you this day, indeed. Hope you're doing all right, my dude. It is Tuesday, after all. So we figured, it'd be a good way to do Tarot Tuesday today. We got a couple hours before we jump onto our next flight. So figured we'd drop in, see how things are. It seems like we got some solid connection, so we're gonna vibe with it. If it's your first time here, welcome in. If you've been here before, welcome back. It's good to see you. My name is Gavin Zen, the Alchemist. Today we'll be playing the tarot cards, and we'll be reading all 12 houses of the astrology wheel, starting with Aries, making our way to Pisces. We'll be reading for all 12 houses. Tarot Tuesday we do once a week for general readings for the collective. Excited to dive in today. Do you know your sun sign? Do you know your moon sign? Do you know your big three? We're going to begin with Aries, house number 1, as we always do, and then we'll open up to Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and last but not least, Pisces. So settle in, ground into this space, maybe get yourself some snacks, some water, sit back, relax. We'll be here for at least an hour reading the cards tonight. If you can hear me clearly, would you mind clicking the screen a couple times just so I know that the microphone is working on your side? And maybe drop your big three if you want to. I'm excited to get started tonight. See what these cards have to say today for the collective. We're going to shuffle this energy, get it moving. Appreciate the follows, appreciate the gifts. Thank you for the likes, your feedback today. We're going to start with Aries, house number 1. Do we have any Aries here today? Any Aries sun, moon, ascendants? Do you know where your first house placement is? First house is all about initiation, new beginnings. Aries is ruled by Mars, the god of war. Sometimes this can be hot-headed or conflict, but also action, direction, focus. Bless up, Fed. That's a great big three. Groovy, groovy, groovy. I see y'all out here. Awesome indeed. Awesome indeed. We're going to start with house number 1 today with Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendant. Super stoked to get started. Fantastic. Got some Libras. Virgo, Leo. A little bit everybody in the house today. I love to see it. We always start with house number 1. For my Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, or wherever your first house placement is, let us see what the message is. Any guidance, any clarity, signs or synchronicities, words of wisdom, direction, messages, omens for the collective Aries, house number 1. We get right to it. We cut the deck. We clear the energy. We let it rest. We draw 2 from the top. We're playing with the Hermetic Tarot today. We flip the deck upside down to show the root. We have here the universe. The great ones of the nighttime. For my first house tonight, Aries, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, the universe here for you. We also have the King of Wands here as well, and the right side up in the draw. The universe and the King of Wands. In the root, we have the Lord of Strife. 5 of Wands, Lord of Strife. This is kind of giving me some like boundary energy. Whereas, like, I feel like we are finding our edge, essentially. With the universe and the King of Wands here, we're learning how to find a flame that we can show up and shine our light consistently, sustainably, without needing to underdo it, not needing to, like, cut corners or try to just, like, do the bare minimum mediocre. But we're here to find our edge, and we're here to lean into our greatness. Like, the universe is consistently expanding. It finds its edge, and then it begins to evolve. A King of Wands will do something similarly. The King will not allow itself to settle for the bare minimum or for mediocrity. The King is going to continue to stride and continue to find its greatness, and it's going to learn how to sustain this. This is what we're learning how to do, to show up and to give our best every single instant of every moment to the best of our capacity.
Will be confiscated and destroyed.
See, the 5 of Wands, the Lord of Strife here, is reminding us the importance of, like, showing up and meeting your edge, but not underdoing it and not overdoing it either. Because when we overdo it, when we step over our edge for too long, we will burn ourselves out, and then it takes us like 2 weeks or longer to recover. Whereas if we found the edge, but we learn how to sustain and toe the line, this is how we can then continue to expand our capacity and our bandwidth for the flame in which we show up in our life. The fire, the wands, being basically where we're placing our life force energy, where we're placing our passion, where we're placing our action. So when it comes to this first house, especially this Aries season that's going to be starting in the next couple of weeks, getting these ideas of like stepping into your power and initiating these new aspects of the journey that you've been feeling called to do, and at the same time like being very mindful to not overdo it, to not burn yourself out, so you can learn how to sustain this flame for as long as possible, honestly. Ultimately, great way to begin the evening. Super stoked to get started with Aries house number 1. I appreciate you dearly. If you dug that message, go ahead and drop me your favorite Aries emoji, whether it be the ram or the fire. We're going to keep it flowing tonight with house number 2, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. And if you wouldn't mind maybe clicking the screen a couple times or hitting the share down there, you're always welcome to do so. Keep this fresh on the feed. We're going to keep this energy flowing for Taurus, house number 2. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see you today. We are currently doing Tarot Tuesday. Reading for all 12 houses. Currently next, we have Taurus. Faye says she needs some Taurus vibes right now. Let's get it. Let's see what the cards have for you, my friend. Yes, Taurus, house number 2. This is all about our values. This is about our beliefs, as well as what we hold near and dear and what we stand in. Yes, Taurus is ruled by the planet of Venus. Venus is the planet of romance, love, desires, but it's also the heart space. Taurus, staying grounded here for you, my friends. Let's get right to it. House number 2 today. Any messages, any clarity, signs or synchronicities, words of wisdom, direction. We're super stoked for it. Here for it. Always in perfect time. I dig it indeed. Let's do this tonight. Taurus, house number 2. Extra card, they're jumping out my hands as we're playing. Yo, Peter, it's good. Welcome in, welcome in. We're currently reading the cards for all 12 tarot houses. Right now we're reading for Taurus, house number 2, and we have the 5 of Pentacles here in reverse, Lord of Material Trouble. Lord of Material Trouble, Mercury in Taurus, Five of Pentacles. We also have the Queen of Swords here. Queen of the Thrones of Air, right side up. Queen of Swords. Four of Cups jumps in while we're shuffling. Lord of Blended Pleasure, Four of Cups. And the Queen of Wands in reverse for the collective. House number 2, Taurus, my dudes. Right now I'm getting a strong message that first and foremost, since house number 2 is all about our values, we live in a society that has a warped definition of what value looks like. A lot of people define value based on number signs and dollars. Value is really about what you hold near and dear to your core, the virtues that you stand alongside. And this is where the material trouble energy can kind of come into play, because this is where we're being called to redefine our own personal definition of what value is, how that looks in our life, how we apply that, how we appreciate the things that we care about within our life, how we show value, how we give into that energy, and then how we can ultimately set boundaries, because we are not here to waste our energy. The Swords card is coming into play to cut out any ways of being, any patterns, programs, perceptions, attachments, ideas, beliefs, any ways of perceiving reality that are not in alignment with our value, asking ourselves, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And is this actually in alignment with my core truth, or am I just doing this because it's a subconscious pattern or a program? And as we become clearer in what we are doing and why we are doing it, this material trouble begins to dissolve. We start to remove cognitive dissonance, and we start to step deeper into our purpose, our power. And that's where this Lord of Blended Pleasure card is coming into play. This Four of Cups energy is reminding us that this should be fun. You should have joy in your heart when you choose to redefine your own personal values, rather than just selling your soul to compromise for the illusion of safety. We're not here to compromise our integrity for anything, ultimately. Even when we have to work a job, even when we are still a part of the system, we can still work on ourselves, and we can still stay true to our personal values, regardless of what it is that we choose to do in our day-to-day. And so this is where the real question comes into play, is what do you value, and how does that play out in your life? And recognizing that the universe supports those who move in alignment with their values. So leaning, because I value courage, I value action and proactivity. Excuse all the announcements. Mahalo. The Queen of Wands here in reverse. The Queen of Wands here in reverse is showing this energy of action, of initiation, of okay, this is now we're starting to make a change. Now that once we have our values agreed upon, we've made an agreement with ourselves and a definition of what it is that we value, what we want to see play out in our reality, we then will begin to take actions according to our values ultimately. But it's first we must ask ourselves these, and also where am I experiencing material trouble, and how can I not allow this to get the best of my peace of mind ultimately, because that is also how we waste our effort and our energy. And if we value peace of mind, then no matter what the trigger is, we will still be able to see it as some teacher or guide to dive us deeper into our center and to greater into our composure, to trust in the process and knowing that it's all playing out perfectly ultimately. It ain't easy, no one said it would be, but this is really what it's all about at the end of the day. And that's where we keep the energy flowing. So once you know what it is that you value, you will be able to act and operate accordingly. So grateful to share the message with you today. Thank you, Taurus, house number 2. Yes, I value kindness as well. I value integrity. Yeah, if y'all want to compliment your values down there, would love to see it. Would love to see it. House number 2. These are my dudes. We're out here. We keep it flowing with house number 3. This evening, Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Do we have any Geminis out here? Gemini is ruled by the planet of Mercury. Mercury is all about communication, mental energy, visualization. Izzy's a Gemini, Sun and Rising. Awesome. These cards are jumping. They are ready today. Any messages, any clarity, signs, or synchronicities, words of wisdom, direction for my Gemini friends. Let's do this. Sweet, we cut the deck, we clear the energy, we let it rest. Looks like we're playing on this, we're adding to this energy of transforming our values, where we have the Five of Pentacles once again here in the root this time. House number 3, Lord of Material Trouble, right side up. Five of Wands. Excuse me, Five of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Swords here in the draw. Lord of the roots of the powers of air. Ace of Swords. And the Fool jumps in while we're shuffling. The Spirit of the Ether here for the collective. Gemini, house number 3, also getting this energy of staying true to our values. Ultimately, this is like the Fool here being in reverse and the Ace of Swords being right side up. This is just like showing us this is like indicative and necessary for us to start taking action ultimately. Otherwise, we're going to become stagnant, and that's when we begin to decay, when the stagnation occurs, when the calcification begins to take place, when we allow ourselves to become too comfortable, when we allow ourselves to just wallow in the sadness and the misery. This is where it's so important to pick up your sword and to stay sharp, to continue to train every single day. The Fool is an individual who's starting new journeys. So my question for you is, what are you feeling called to start, and what is getting in the way? Because ultimately, fear is the only thing at the end of the way, so we can at least get it right down to that. Okay, the only thing that's getting in my way is fear. The way in which the fear is expressing itself is then up to you to make peace with. That's where this Lord of Material Trouble energy is coming into play. Recognizing the Fool does not have time for fear. The Fool moves in alignment with faith. The Fool knows that they are honoring and showing up for their destiny, and how important it is to honor such. How important it is for us to honor our destiny and our dharma, because we have these inklings, we have these callings within our soul that bring us forward to our soul's mission. However, the logical mind, the fear, the need for proof, evidence, and reason oftentimes obstructs us from stepping in to our greatness. And this is where it's so important to face that material trouble, those fears, those limiting beliefs, to face them head on and to still choose faith, to still choose to move forward. Like the Fool is an individual who doesn't have time to concern themselves about, oh, what can go wrong, yada, 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 because they are so inspired, they're so stoked to start the journey that they aren't even concerned about all of the potentialities of things that could go wrong. They'll meet those along the way when they present themselves, if they present themselves. And this is where it's so important for us to lean forward and double down. I'm not saying blind faith, but I'm saying like there's a reason why your soul has these yearnings, has these inklings, and yes, we gotta let God in. Otherwise, we are creating blockages and we're not allowing ourselves to experience the divine ultimately. Andrea, it's good that you have that awareness of the guilt, and that's really important to make peace with, because ultimately the best thing that you can do for yourself is to care for yourself. There's no reason to feel guilty for self-care. You can't show up for anybody if you're not showing up for yourself ultimately. And so this is where that's like this strong Gemini energy is like asking us, okay, like what do I need to make peace with in my mind? What thoughts am I holding on to, especially with this Ace of Swords here? This Ace of Swords is what thoughts am I holding on to? Swords is the element of air. Air is the element of mental energy, visualization, communication. So what beliefs am I holding on to? Am I entertaining? Am I personifying with? Am I calling my own? And how is this shaping my reality ultimately? Unfortunately, there are a lot of fake accounts out there, so if anybody tries to message you utilizing my name and whatnot, I promise you it's not me. Those accounts are fake. You can block them, you can ignore them, you can report them, you can do what you need to, but I promise you it's not me. Currently, we are reading for all 12 houses of the Zodiac. Right now, we are completing Gemini. If you'd like that message, go ahead and drop me your favorite Gemini emoji, whether it be like a bird or the Gemini symbol or a cheers emoji, whatever you feel called. We're gonna keep it flowing with house number 4 tonight. House number 4, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, Cancer for you, my friends. The recording of this will be up on my YouTube tomorrow or so. And right now we are in a layover and we got some time, so we're gonna keep it flowing. We keep it flowing. Next, we have house number 4, Cancer. Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Do we have any 4th house placements here today? Any Cancer Sun, Moons, and whatnot? Super excited to get started. Let's do this. Welcome in, everybody. Greetings and salutations. We're flowing forward with house number 4, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendants for you, my friends. Let's do this. cut the deck. We clear it. We let it rest. King of Cups. In the root. In reverse. For you, my friends. Cancer, house number 4. We have the 3 of Wands here, right side up. The only one that is right side up. Lord of established strength. We have the 9 of Swords here in reverse. Lord of despair and cruelty. This is definitely the energy that we get when we know we need to communicate something, but it's not going to be easy. With the 3 of Wands being the only one right side up, the King of Cups being reversed in the root, and the 9 of Swords, despair, Lord of despair and cruelty, both being in reverse. This is like indicative of challenging conversation energy, like knowing that you have to speak something. It's going to take great strength to communicate these emotions, these feelings, these intuitions that you are experiencing, because if you don't, it's going to create more despair and cruelty. Like there's something that needs to be communicated. I'm getting this energy that perhaps a boundary has been crossed or needs to be created. I'm getting this energy that as well, like how important it is to honor your emotions and your intuitions, because when you are falling into cycles of like people-pleasing patterns, you are not doing yourself or the people who you are attempting to please justice. You're being dishonest. And the best thing that you can do is to be truthful, to be honest. And if you're not honoring your emotions, if you are not honoring your intuitions, then you're not being honest with yourself and the people around you. And so this is where it's so important for you to honor your intuitions and your emotions and then do what's necessary, even if it's challenging, even if it's difficult, even if it's like scary. This is where it's so necessary, because it's so much more important to dive right into it than to let the potential worry, doubt, fear, despair, and cruelty that our mind creates to
increase security,
shape things
all
happening
unattended items
before it
and
actually
bags
happens,
will be
right?
confiscated
Like,
and destroyed.
you can have a bad thought, you can have a self-deprecating, or you can have a fearful thought, but you can still choose faith, and in doing so you completely obliterate that fearful thought that would eventually create despair and cruelty. But instead, by choosing faith and stepping in and leaning to the scary thing, by choosing to communicate to this person like, hey man, like I don't appreciate when you say that to me, like I love you, but I have to create a boundary for myself, for the both of us. I must honor this emotion with myself, because like we are not here to be martyrs. We're not here to set ourselves on fire in order to keep other people warm. It's so important to learn how to find the balance, and this is where it's so necessary to communicate those difficult things and to find the strength to do so. And ultimately, at the same time, like when you allow yourself to open up, the spirit will speak through you. When you're like, okay, I don't even know what words I need to speak right now, but I know I need to say something. You ask and you stay open in your heart, and the words will move through you. And it's like so important to let yourself start to practice your own channeling and practice setting your boundaries and communicating what's on your heart and your emotions, because this is crucial. And like one of the sexiest things in this day and age is emotional intelligence, honestly. And people who are not capable of honoring and communicating their emotions have a lot of room to grow. And that's one of the best things that we can do for ourselves, is learn how to properly and easily communicate our emotions. So what makes you want to close off, and how can you continue to stay open and to lean into your heart space even when you wish to do that? Groovy. Thank you, house number 4. Awesome reading. Gotta love it. Cancer energy, always super strong. Fantastic. We're going to keep it flowing tonight. Got a lot of movement happening over here, but we're going to just vibe with it. Next, we have house number 5. House number 5. Leo. Sun, Moon, Ascendants, Leo placements, wherever you may be today. Appreciate y'all. Glad it's vibing. Some resonance. Just out here
Join us in keeping this airport a healthy place. Maintaining a comfortable distance from others can help stop the spread of germs. All terminals are smoke-free. Smoking is permitted at designated curbside areas only.
Cool. All right, Leo. House number 5. Sun, Moon, Ascendants for you today. Currently, we are reading for all 12 houses of the astrology wheel. We'll do personal readings in a little bit, but right now we are just doing one for every single house. So now we are reading for house number 5, Leo, Sun, Moon ascendants. Fifth house is all about romance, relationships, desires. Fifth house is all about ego and stepping into your expression, like the sun, the star that you are. Yes, sun. Moon ascendant, fifth house placement. Let's get to it. Cut the deck quickly, the energy will let it rest. Strong energy. Calling us out on the fifth house. I like this. Super fun. So we have the High Priestess here. The only card that's right side up in the draw. The Princess of the Silver Star. We have the Eight of Swords here in reverse. Lord of Shortened Force. We have the Five of Cups here, reversed in the root. Lord of Loss and Pleasure. Lord of Loss and Pleasure. The only one right side up being the High Priestess. This is a very strong indicator of the energy that we're learning how to cultivate, especially with this fifth house, like learning how to sustain our own personal magical flame. With the Lord of Shortened Force and the Lord of Loss and Pleasure, we're being shown the ways in which we get in our own way and how we minimize our own personal potential of stepping into this High Priestess energy. Because we all have this capacity. The High Priestess is a divine, magical, feminine individual who follows nature, who listens to her soul and intuition. She works with the signs of nature. Like, for example, we just had a new moon, like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. New moon's a perfect time to be planting seeds, to be shifting your perspective and how it is that you wish to cultivate your personal reality ultimately. We're learning how to sustain, like we're learning how to create this as our base frequency, like this being the energy that you wake up into and step into. Like you deserve to be the High Priestess right off the bat. We'll catch glimpses of this. Like when we do things that like we feel empowered, we feel stoked for life, things that bring us life, they help us tap into our own personal nature. That's what we get a glimpse of our own personal High Priestess energy. However, oftentimes we'll stop. We'll stop that because of fear of how people might perceive us. We'll stop that because we are scaring ourselves from our own personal power. We'll stop ourselves. We'll allow ourselves to catch glimpses here and there of our greatness, but learning how to sustain it is the real challenge. And it's really important to not let it get to your head. And that's also where this Five of Cups, Lord of Loss and Pleasure, comes into play. Because when you're feeling empowered, it feels really good. But if you're going to be in your head about it, then that's how you're going to be operating from an egoic space. And so that's where this like Leo energy, fifth house, is really important to keep us in check. Because it can be very easy to do things from like an egoic level, like, oh, like how do people perceive me, and am I doing this from a space of just wanting to be perceived, or am I doing this from a space of purity ultimately? And this is where it's so important to recognize, okay, where do I need to shorten my force? Where am I operating in a way that's not integral, like in alignment with my integrity? Or where am I operating in a way that is creating my own personal blockages, so I need to flow more? And this is where it's so important to reflect and to allow ourselves to lean into pleasure, but to not get lost in it. Because in doing so, this is how we find what's important to us, what makes our soul sing, and ultimately this is one of the most crucial parts to tapping into our own personal High Priestess energy. Whew. Just flowing, just like out here, doing the thing as we do. Shouts out to the High Priestess and how she leads the way. Good to see y'all, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in. We are out here flowing. Yes. We're gonna keep it moving tonight. We're about halfway into the live stream. We got Virgo house number 6. Virgo house number 6 here on the horizon. Lindsay says Leo was spot on. I love to see it. Awesome indeed. Virgo sun out here. What's good time? Groovy, yes, we are currently reading Tarot Tuesday, all 12 houses. So the recording, if you're just now getting here or you're getting late, you have to leave early. You can check out the recording of this live stream on my YouTube tomorrow or so. Right now we are flowing forward, we're halfway in. Virgo, house number 6, sun, moon, ascendants. House number 6 is all about the work. If 5th house is about the desire, 6th house is about the work required to actualize and manifest that desire. So, yes, for you, my friends, 6th house is also ruled by Mercury, the planet of communication, whereas Gemini is communication in regards to like verbal communication. Virgo, being mutable Earth, is more like body language communication with the physical form. Groovy. Awesome. Let's get right to it. Any messages, any clarity, signs, or synchronicities for the collective today? Virgo, stoked to have you in the space. Let's get right into it. Extra card for you, my friends. I like it. Well, this is how you know we're really listening and in sync right now, because we literally get the Virgo Sun card. We're reading for Virgo Sun, 6th house, and we have Virgo Sun, 8 of Pentacles, Lord of Prudence here for you in the root. So that's just like a very clear indicator of synchronicity. Shows that we are channeling the thing. We got the 4 of Wands there, right side up, Lord of Perfected Work. We have the 5 of Wands making another appearance tonight, this time reverse, Lord of Strife. And the Death card here, also reverse, number 13 for the collective. I love it. We're literally on house number 6, which is all about work, and we get the 4 of Wands, Lord of Perfected Work, and then we get the 8 of Pentacles, Lord of Prudence, Virgo. And this is ultimately like learning that like life is work. Life is work, and it doesn't ever stop for anybody. It's just like learning how to redefine your own personal work for yourself, rather than working for somebody else. Learning how to work for yourself, learning how to work on yourself, learning how to work on your soul, learning how to integrate your etheric, multidimensional aspects of self, so you can then learn how to embody them in this 3-dimensional reality, and you can step deeper into your purpose and who you came to be here, like who you are and why you're here, basically your soul's mission, your destiny, your dharma. And right now, like a very important part of this process is learning that death is essential, and it's just as beautiful, if not necessary, as life itself. And as Thomas Aquinas once said, those who die before they die do not die when they die. And this is where it's so important to recognize that with every single exhale, we release, we let go, and with every inhale, we rejuvenate, we are restored, we are revitalized. This is how we can step deeper into a space of non-attachment, of healthy unattachment, allowing ourselves to embrace the transitions and the changes as natural, instead of like resisting.
Delta Airlines and American Airlines
For the 5 of Wands, the Lord of Strife is indicating this like element of resistance when things begin to change. Ultimately though, like what we resist persists. And so the more we can move forward with prudence, with temperance, with patience, the more we can then create cycles that we want to see, rather than perpetuating cycles and loops of pain and suffering that are so easy to continue to perpetuate when we get stuck in cycles of survival mode. When we get stuck in cycles of survival mode, we will continue to perpetuate cycles of pain and trauma and suffering. But when we start to invite in greater levels of awareness, mindfulness, and clarity into our day-to-day, and intention into our day-to-day, when we operate from a space of prudence, with direction, with focus, but also not pressuring ourselves too heavy, this is how we then begin to cultivate and shape our reality according to the will, not just our own personal will, but like the will of the divine and how it wishes to move through. We are at the airport right now, but definitely resonant with the DMV. We're out here doing it, just, talking to God in public, as we do. May you move forward with prudence. May you move forward with prudence. Prudence is the element of like the path of the sapling transforming into a sprout. And it's like, you can't pull on a sapling to make it grow any quicker, but you can encourage it, you can give it the proper amount of nutrients, you can give it the right environment so that it will evolve into the beautiful flower that it will. But if you just stress it out, or if you try to yank on it, it's not going to grow any quicker. And so this is where it's like finding that edge of that perfected work, of not striving too hard, and recognizing that every instant, every mother-loving moment, we are provided the opportunity to choose love, to choose ourselves, to choose to work on dissolving the illusion of separation and step deeper into connection, creativity, unity, consciousness, ultimately, learning how to see the divinity within it all. And it's not easy, every single moment we're provided the opportunity to practice, and the more you practice, the better you get. So Godspeed, my friends. Thanks, Virgo. House number 6. I love it. This is the real work. We're out here doing it. Stoked with y'all. We're gonna keep it flowing. House number 7. House number 7. Up next today, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Libra placements for you, my friends. We're gonna keep it flowing. Do you have any Libras in the house? Sun, Moon, Ascendant. Godspeed, Riss. Fairly well.
Please maintain control of your personal property, including carry-on,
Libra
check baggage, to avoid transporting items without your knowledge.
By Venus as well, just like Taurus. Whereas if Taurus is values and self-love, Libra is love for each other. Libra 7th house is relationships, connection, business, whether they be relationships that are amicable, like friendship, or romance, or career-driven. Libra is all about balance and conversation. Yes, house number 7. Let us see what the word is today. Any messages, any clarity, signs of synchronicities for the collective. We're going to cut the deck, we'll clear it, we'll let it rest. Stellar. Big shifts. I'd love to see it when the cards build on each other.
Currently going out of 820.
Libra, for you.
PG for passenger Daniel De Soto, party of 2, and keeping conic, please see us here at 820.
Knight of Swords. Lord of the winds and the breezes. Right side up in the
We
room.
apologize for the delay. We are waiting for our aircraft to get pulled up to our gate so we
Knight
can
of
start
Cups.
our boarding process.
Here. In the draw. Lord of the waves, the waters. Knight of Cups. Knight of Swords right side up. And the Death card makes another appearance for Libra today. The fact that the Death card is making an appearance in this house number 7 energy, right now we're seeing a transformation, a transition. I'm getting self-worth. I'm getting recognizing what it is that you are capable of entertaining, what you have bandwidth for, what you are, what is welcome in your realm, and what is no longer in alignment or resonance. Basically, I'm getting energy of like someone who's being disrespectful to you and then standing your ground and saying, yo, you can't talk to me like that. That this is ending. This level is no longer in resonance. So that's like where this Death card comes into play, is like ending a cycle of basically allowing people to walk over us like doormats. This is where the Knight of Cups energy in reverse also comes into play, is like honoring your emotions, recognizing that you don't have to set yourself on fire in order to keep somebody else warm. People-pleasing tendencies are so of 2023. We are stepping into honoring everybody and to the best of our ability, and that really does start with you honoring yourself and honoring how people show up and allow to speak to you. But ultimately, people can't respect you to the degree that you respect yourself. I mean, somebody who respects themselves a lot can respect somebody else to the degree which they respect themselves, but people can only respect themselves the way in which they respect the world. Like it's a two-way street. Like this is where self-love and self-respect are the best love in the best forms, and ultimately at the same time, like sometimes somebody who has, let's say, an excess of self-respect, an excess of self-love, they see somebody going through it, they can be very encouraging, they can be uplifting to that person. That's not their responsibility, but they have that capacity to be some level of charitable or generous. I'm not saying that that's your responsibility. What I'm saying is it's like recognizing how to see that within ourselves first, that we don't become reliant on an external mirror. We don't need somebody to pull us out of that. I mean, sometimes it's really amazing when somebody does uplift us, but at the end of the day, we don't need that. Like, learning how to see yourself on such a level is crucial and key, and this is where it really all begins. And sometimes we can't see that unless someone else shows us. So that's why it's so beautiful that as you continue to step deeper into your own personal healing, your own personal journey, you create a greater capacity for others to step deeper into their own healing. Not that you are to heal anybody else, but as you step into your healing, you can be here as an inspiration, or simply holding space for osmosis to occur. Just like, we become a combination of the 5 people we spend the most time with. We become products of our environment.
For those of you who are on
You can either choose to alter your internal environment, or you can choose to allow yourself to be altered by your external environment. And this is where it's so important to ground into the way in which we view ourselves, how we speak about ourselves, how we see ourselves, and putting an end to any patterns, any perceptions, any identifications or attachments, any ways of beingness that we are entertaining that are no longer in resonance with stepping into our greatness. It's time to let that shit go, because it's just dead weight ultimately, and just holding us back from flowing forward. Yeah, that's where that Knight of Swords comes into play, to use that sword to cut through all that bullshit. We are learning. It ain't easy. It's a lifelong journey. It doesn't ever stop. And our relationships, they provide us mirrors in this endeavor because they point us on what it is that we can work on, what it is that we've done really good work on already, what is that is required more improvement, whether that be a friendship, whether that be a romance, whether that be a business relationship. As long as we're connecting with somebody on an intentional, intimate level, they're going to call us out on our BS, and it's going to be up to us to take responsibility for that, ultimately. Cool. We're going to keep flowing to house number 8. Yes, gotta love it. Transformation. So as Libra is marriage, Libra is relationships, house number 8 is marriage, so taking those relationships to the next step. House number 8 is Scorpio. It's also death. It's marriage and death. It's the depths of it all. House number 8, Scorpio, is ruled by Pluto, representative of the far out planet, hidden money, shadow investments, psychic abilities, Scorpio energy. Sun, Moon, Ascendants for you this evening. House number 8. Let us see what these cards have to play. We're going to cut the deck. We'll clear it. We'll let it rest. We'll keep it flowing. Strong cards. I like it. We have 4 of Pentacles here. Lord of Earthly Power. Rides it up. We have the 2 of Swords, Lord of Peace restored, here in reverse. 2 of Swords for Scorpio. And then we have the Ace of Wands here, reverse as well. And the Root, Lord of the Roots of the Powers of Fire. Scorpio, house number 8. There is no shame in tapping into your power. I think we live in a day and age, it's really ass backwards when it comes to tapping into one's personal power, because we put people on pedestals who are like self-made and like do their own thing and they tap into their power, and then we also demonize people who do the same thing, be like, oh, that person is egoic, oh, that person is bad, yada yada, they don't care about anybody but themselves, yada yada yada. And so like this is where it's like important to recognize like there's a fine balance of learning how to step into your personal power, the role as the creator of your reality, without needing to put yourself on a pedestal, without needing to put yourself above anybody, and vice versa, not needing to put anybody else on a pedestal, not needing to put anybody above you. Like we are stepping into a realm of horizontal power structures rather than hierarchical power structures. Instead of having power over, we're seeing everybody starting to step into their own personal capacity. And as you learn how this works for you, this is how you tap into your gifts and you strengthen your swords, essentially. With the 2 of Swords, Lord of Peace restored, and the Ace of Wands here. I'm getting this energy, it's like you've gotten glimpses of stepping into your greatness before, but it scared you because maybe you've hurt somebody unintentionally, maybe you've hurt yourself unintentionally, maybe you've created conflict, because when you start to step into your gifts, when you start to step into your power, it's going to call out the insecurities of the people around you who are not willing or open to start doing that. That's not your responsibility to squench or stifle yourself just because somebody is not in alignment with where you are. Oftentimes we have to let go of our past life in order to step into the person who we are becoming, and when we choose to step into the person we are becoming, the people who are not on the same wavelength will operate from a space of insecurity, and they're just going to project their own insecurities onto us, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes. And so this is where it's so important to continue to double down on yourself, to stay true, to like recognize like, hey, wait, like just because somebody is getting offended that I'm doing my thing, I know what I'm doing is genuinely harmless, and it should by no way be causing any problems to this person, but they are just so attached to their own personal perception of reality that their own personal beliefs are altering how they experience their life, and they're attempting to project their own limiting beliefs onto me. That's not my responsibility. You don't have to take on other people's weight. And this is where it's so important, like when people start to judge, you just double down on yourself. That's how you know you're doing something right, essentially. And this is where it takes like immense power and strength to actually just like sit and not react, to not feel like you have to defend yourself, to not feel like you are like just thrown back into survival mode just like as soon as somebody says something that goes against with your like beliefs and your visions, like staying open in your heart, staying open in your mind, allowing, you know, there to be funky space and discomfort occasionally. Of course, if it's becoming too much, it's important to draw a boundary and to make an action to do something to restore that peace. Ultimately, though, at the end of the day, I think what we're really getting at is like it's like developing a new muscle. It's like you just started doing pull-ups. Like, to do 100 pull-ups right away is going to be really challenging, right? But maybe you can start with like at least one, or you can like start with like a supported one. You can like get some like of those suspension bands beneath your feet to help you lift yourself up. And you can start developing and defining your muscle rather than just trying to go to like 100 pull-ups right away. And like, this is what I'm getting. As you step into your power, it's like picking up, it's like turning on a new muscle, and it's going to take some training. It's going to take consistent exercise, discipline, and daily showing up and working on your gifts. So as you step into your power, may you continue to show up and train, take it easy, have fun with it. And as you start to develop this, you start to train it, you start to develop a greater level of consciousness, you start to develop a greater level of confidence and composure. So now you know how to work with your sword. You're not just like flailing that thing around trying to like, but like, no, you've been training, so you know how to utilize your tools and how to then show up in the world accordingly, like the warrior that you are. Awesome, Scorpio. Thank you. House number 8. What an awesome reading today. Yes, these cards are jumping out my hands. Yes, you must own it. And we are learning. We are learning. We are learning. Groovy. We keep it flowing with house number 9. House number 9. Dig it. Dig it, dig it, dig it. Awesome. Good stuff, Scorpio. Love it. And now, house number 9.
TSA has limited the items that may be carried through a screening checkpoint.
Sun,
Passengers should contact their air carrier for further information.
House number 9. This evening, this afternoon, wherever you may be today. House number 9 is Sagittarius. This is higher wisdom, higher guidance. So like, what happens after the marriage? What happens after the death? It's the expansion, ruled by Jupiter, planet of evolution. I want to say divine wisdom. Divine wisdom, yes. For Sagittarius today, house number 9, let's do this. We cut the deck, and clear, and let it rest. Oh, they are jumping. Coolio. Sagittarius, let's do this. I love it. Yes, we are listening. We have Mercury and Sag here in the root. 8 of Wands, Lord of Swiftness. Mercury and Sagittarius. We have the Knight of Pentacles here. Lord of the wild and fertile lands in the draw. Knight of Pentacles. And the 6 of Swords here in reverse. Lord of earned success. It's a very beautiful Sagittarian reading. Ultimately, I'm getting strong mental magic and being reminded the importance of how perception shapes our entire reality. The Lord of earned success is right around the corner, and it's happening swiftly. And I'm getting reminded right now, though, like the best way to start getting our gears moving in that direction is through the portal of gratitude. Gratitude is a literal portal, and when we start to allow ourselves to tap into that frequency, that energy of what it is that we can appreciate, that's when we can begin to uplift the space around us, and we begin to create a life path that is much more in alignment with that energy. Yes. Gratitude is the attitude. To stay grounded in this is crucial and key, because ultimately, like, when we are here grateful, everything is successful. It doesn't matter what life throws at us or presents to us. We can always learn something from it. We can always gain or grow from the experience. And so that's where this like Six of Swords, Lord of Earn's success comes into play. It's like recognizing like how mental magic is the most potent form of magic that you can perform. By shifting your perspective will literally alter your entire experience, and then choosing how you then show up into the world. And like that can sound as woo-woo as you want, but literally, you know, our beliefs shape our actions, and our actions shape our entire life. And so this is where it's so important to stay open in your beliefs. It's so important to recognize like where you're attaching onto your beliefs. It's so important to recognize like how your beliefs are then ultimately determining your personality and your reality and your approach to your life, because your personality determines your personal reality, and your beliefs determine your personality. And so how can you stay open? How can you stay wild and fertile within your beliefs? This Knight of Pentacles energy. Because, like for example, I just got a new kit of crystal sound bowls, and I was playing them with my outside, and my puppy ran into one of them and he cracked it. And like I could have, you know, gotten really upset at that, be like, oh man, dog, you're the worst. But instead, instantaneously, I mean, it's really difficult to be upset when you're playing with the crystal sound bowls because they're just like so blissful. I mean, like swiftly, like instantaneously, I was like, wow, this is all perfect. Like even this is a part of the plan. And like the more we can like see the plan within it all, we can like surrender into that, the more we can let the divine will ultimately move through us, because it's always something that's greater than us as individuals. And what the power of the universe and the story of the divine has in store for us, I believe, is always greater than anything that we could imagine on our egoic level. It's just like allowing ourselves to lean into that rather than think that we have to have it all figured out. It's all goody. Yeah, everything happens perfectly. It's amazing. So it's like, you know, ultimately we can allow ourselves, I mean, we do have to feel it to heal it. It's really important to allow ourselves, I'm not saying bypass the pains and the challenge that you experience on a consistent basis, though I'm saying that like you get a choice, and you get to choose how long you wallow in your misery, and you get to choose how long you're like, okay, I'm gonna get myself up, I'm gonna wipe my tears off my face, I'm gonna keep moving forward. Like it's up to you. It's your choice at the end of the day, and some people will choose to wallow in their misery the rest of their life. Some people will right away start to pick themselves up. It really is up to the individual and the context of the situation, of course. And this is just where it's so important to recognize that you always have a choice. And once you make that choice, things will shift rapidly, swiftly, whatever you choose to.
Will be confiscated and destroyed.
Nice, Faye. Yeah, that's a good way to do it, absolutely. To take a step back, to breathe into that frustration, to feel it throughout your whole body, to stay open in your heart. The reaction threshold, yeah, it's a good one. It's important. Groovy. That's some nice Sagittarius energy. I like it. We're gonna keep it moving tonight. Next we have Capricorn. We dig it. Fantastic, yes. Capricorn Sun, Moon, Ascendants on the way, wherever you may have 10th house placement. 10th house is ruled by Saturn. 10th house represents order, law, time. 10th house represents our legacy, our reputation. Yes, let's do this. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Ascendants, three of my friends. I love it. That's how you know we are in sync today. Like I said, another really strong synchronicity because we get the Devil card. The Devil card is the card of Capricorn, is the card of Saturn.
Hawaiian Airlines flight number 312 with service to Hilo is currently pre-boarding only. Pre-boarding our wheelchair passengers and any passengers needing extra time on the jetway. We apologize for the inconvenience and we thank you so much for your patience. Once again, pre-boarding only.
We have Knight of Swords here in reverse, Lord of the Winds and the Breezes, and the Two of Cups here in the root, Lord of Love. I'm seeing on a collective level, we're witnessing the evolution of Capricorn energy, essentially, because Capricorn is indicative of the devil, right? It's the goat. However, I believe that is only shown as the devil in the tarot because we've seen demonic depictions of Capricorn energy. The modern man-made governments are corrupt, And that was what I mean when I say that the Capricorn energy has been displayed in a demonic fashion, because Capricorn represents governance. However, when we have man-made governance structures that are corrupt, it's very piss-poor examples of what governance actually is to look like. And when we can tap into the divine law and order, and we can tap into our personal values and virtues, we can lead from this space. And this is where it's so important to create a life of love and to lead forward from this space, to recognize that we all have a demon side. We all have a devil side. We all have an angel. We all have an alien. We all have an alien. We all have an angel. We all have a demon. We all have a devil. We have an angel. We all have a divine side. We all have a devilish side. It's so important that we love our devilish side. It's so important that we love our dense, our weak side, because we all have a best form of self. We all have a worst form of self. And if we shame ourselves, if we demonize ourselves for having a worst part of self, we're just going to continue to perpetuate that cycle, and we're going to create more guilt, more fear, more worry, more doubt, more disbelief. But when we choose to love our shadow, this is how we then integrate this aspect of our being. This is how we can find the value within our devil's side. When we learn how to love this aspect of self, we can find some of our greatest strengths and some of our greatest gifts within this aspect of our person. But if we're demonizing it, then we're going to stay disconnected. But if we choose to embrace it, we choose to reflect, where is this coming from? What is this here to serve me, and what is the highest form and expression of this? This is how we can step deeper into our greatness.
With service to Hero here at 8:20. We'd like to welcome on board our first class guest at this time. Utilizing the first class lane, followed by our Zone 1 Polani Platinum members.
And that's really what it's all about.
And our Zone 2 Polani Golden Premier Club.
That's really
At this time, if you're active duty military, your family's traveling with children, you may line up in the main cabin lane at this time.
Alrighty, we've got two more. I think I've got plenty of time, unless they like switch my flight on me. But I'm gonna keep going until they say my name. We got two more. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. Thank you, Capricorn. I love it. Aquarius, house number 11, Sun, Moon, Ascendants. This is the collective, yes. Capricorn's like the dance floor. The base, the foundation. Aquarius is all the people dancing on the dance floor, the collective out here making their moves. Let's do this. Any messages, any clarity, signs or synchronicities, words of wisdom, direction for the collective Aquarius, house number 11. Ruled by Uranus. Let's do this. Perfect. We have the Moon card here right side up. The only one right side up. Ruler of the flux and the reflux. We have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Then we have the Princess of Swords, also in reverse.
For those of you in flight 312 with service to Hilo here at 8:20, who's going to enter the boarding lanes to your zone has been called. We are currently boarding first class, Zone 1 and Zone 2.
The Moon card being the only one right side up, seeing this very clear indicator, moving forward into the collective is the awakening of the intuition overall. The Moon card is indicative of our connection to our own personal soul, our spirit, and our intuition. With the Princess of Swords here in reverse in the root, and the Queen of Cups also in reverse, it's like this visualization, this development of one's own personal depiction and experience, developing a muscle memory for your own personal intuition, ultimately learning the language of your soul and your spirit. For our soul speaks to us through our intuitions, through the subtle inclinations and the voice within that is not necessarily in English. This is where it's so important to ask, how does the soul speak to me and through me, and how can I develop a deeper language so I can move into this conversation with intention, with clarity. Ultimately, I'm getting that this is a beginning, it's a new beginning, because with the Princess of Swords here in reverse, it's showing that it's fresh. It's just now stepping into this. It's just now learning how to apply this. And what's going to be the greatest guide in this is the water, the intuition, the emotions, the feelings. But then the sword is then the application of this, the visualization of this. Yes, it is a vision. It's in the vision, and it's also in the emotion as well. And so this is like where it's so crucial. Like, what do you see yourself in the long haul? Like, what did your soul come here to do? Because I believe that we all chose to be born into this life with a specific purpose, mission.
With service to Hilo here at 8:20, our Zone 4 passengers, utilizing the main cabin lane.
diving into with a specific purpose, mission, dharma. We all have a specific reason why we chose to be born in this life, and it's up for us to uncover that and to step into that path, ultimately. I feel like on the collective level, we're just seeing this massive awakening where people are like referencing, oh yeah, like this isn't just like something that I've been talking about in fiction stories, like, no, this is actually as real as it gets, and this is literally why I chose to be here in this day and age. Absolutely. Cool, Aquarius. I love it. House number 11. Making this energy moving. Yo, Tani, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that dearly. We're going to keep it flowing. We're going to keep it flowing with... Awesome. We're going to keep it flowing. Up next, we have house number 12. Saving the best for last. Pisces today. Sun, Moon, Ascendants. We just saw the Pisces card. Let's see what the message is for my fish friends. House number 12 is all about the divine. It's the space beyond time and space. In definition, Pisces is the realm of the dreamer. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, planet of the sea. Let us see what these cards have to say today for my Pisces friends. Any messages, any clarity, signs or synchronicities, words of wisdom for you. Let's get to it. Epic, Pisces. This is a really awesome reading for my birthday fish. Let's get to it. We have the Magician here. The Magus of Power, the Magician.
Ready to continue boarding for flight 312 with service to Hilo here at H-Way.
Four of Cups here. Can I help you?
Please have your boarding passes out facing up with the barcode scan.
Awesome. What's your name? I'm Gavin.
CJ.
CJ. Wild. I'm in the live stream right now.
Weird, funny.
Sure.
First time, one of those first times for anything you never really thought about or cared.
Sure.
Until it happened.
Oh, I love that. Thanks,
So I
CJ.
can't tell you I cared.
Well, it's great to see you. So sweet. I can't go anywhere in public anymore. We have the Chariot here. We have the Lord of the Triumph of Light. The Charioteer. So good. So we have the Four of Cups, Lord of Blended Pleasure, the Magician, and the Chariot here. And this is like showing me we're very much on track. Like we are here diving into our path of the Magician. Ultimately, with the Chariot being the root and the Magician being right side up, it's like we are here on track. And this is exactly what Pisces came here to do, to create a base frequency for the magic to be expressed in this day and age. With the Four of Cups right here, in reverse, it's like this doesn't ever stop. The work is the reward. It doesn't ever stop. You will never allow yourself to become complacent or settle. Like the more you level up, the more you're going to continue to expand and grow, and new levels, new devils. Like don't ever allow yourself to settle. Ultimately, you're just going to continue to become a greater magician. You're going to become more composed, more confident, more clear at the wheel as to who you are and why you're here, so you can show up and navigate your life on track, stay in alignment with your magic. That's it. You don't have to define anything else. It's just literally following the path of your magic and letting that play out before you. And this is where the groove really goes. And the Blended Pleasure card comes into play because it's like sometimes it's going to be scary, sometimes it's going to be daunting, sometimes it's not going to make any sense at all. Sometimes it might be mundane, sometimes it might be very low key. And even throughout all this, we have the capacity to invite in all of our love and our greatness and our presence, so we can show up and step into our power as we came to. Yes, there's true magic everywhere, especially in the mundane. Absolutely, and that's what a real magician does, is he's able to uncover, unveil, and invite in the natural magic that exists within it all. We are here on path, on track. I love to conclude this live stream with this reading for house number 12 this evening. What a vibe. What a vibe. How awesome indeed. Tonight. Groovy, groovy, groovy. Love to see it. And that just about does it. And now it is 2:22 here in Honolulu. 2:22. So shouts out all my angels out here. We keep it flowing. We're gonna close this live stream so we can catch the recording. We're gonna close this live stream so we can catch the recording, upload it on my YouTube tomorrow. I'm just gonna go check the flights, make sure that we're, haven't been altered, and that it's still in 40 minutes or whatever. And I think we're going to maybe just close out this live stream and start another one and see if anybody wants any personal readings after this one while we're still here at the airport if we got the time. But otherwise, maybe we'll see you tonight, or if not tomorrow. Definitely either way, I'm sure we'll see you sometime soon, and I'm so grateful for this time here today. Glad that you stayed. I love these readings. These are really good. Nothing too over the top today, but some really important channeled synchronistic messages, which is also awesome nonetheless. So yes, thank you for being. I appreciate y'all dearly. Could say bye all day. I hate goodbyes, but I do love you, and I will talk to you soon. So until then, Godspeed, my dudes.